Did you know that it is estimated that the world's population uses between 500 billion and 1 trillion plastic bags a year?
No way.
Which breaks down to about 1 million per minute. Scientists guesstimate that it takes one bag in a landfill up to 1,000 years to completely degrade. And even then, whatever remains is still toxic.
No way.
Yes way, but there's an easy and creative solution. My name is Danielle, and I'm a Girl Scout, and I'm trying to educate as many people as possible with the benefits of using reusable snack bags over disposable plastic bags. In this video, I will be showing you how to make a high-quality, long-lasting, professional-looking reusable snack bag. In the long run, these bags will not only save your money, but they will also save the planet. And you can make them too, in just 3 easy steps. Now let's get started. Now, let's talk fabric. These bags are made up of 2 fabric components. An outside layer of durable, sturdy, non-stretchy cotton fabric that you can pick up at any of your local fabric stores, preferably with a cute design like these bicycles. The inside layer is a washable, food-safe, vinyl-like fabric. Personally, I used ProCare waterproof fabric from candleonthehill.com. It has been declared a food-safe fabric. It's 25% polyester and 75% vinyl. It's also BPA, phthalate, and lead-free. Don't forget to wash your fabrics before you start this project. When cutting the fabric, the inside layer is going to be 8 by 12 inches, while the outside layer is going to be 8 by 14 inches. The next step is to iron the edges of the fabric in place and then pin the Velcro so you can sew the Velcro on. Now, what you want is not a frayed edge, but something more like this, where you have the Velcro pinned and there's no fraying on the edge, which means we're going to have to fold the edge over twice. Now, we're going to try it on this side. First, you fold it over at about 1/4 of an inch and you iron all the way across, like so that it lays flat, like that. Now, after that, you're going to fold it a second time, so see now that there's no fray edge. Let's iron again. Now it lays flat and you can pin anything you want without it moving all over the place. Then you fold the plastic fabric underneath this fabric so that it's covered, like so. Now you're going to take the Velcro and put the Velcro, after you've done the first side, you're going to line up the second side so that when you close the bag, the Velcros are lined up pretty much exactly. You want the Velcro, the edge, this top edge of the Velcro, to be close to the bottom edge of this seam here, so that there's not a flap of Velcro that is hard to, so that it's hard to open the bag. You're going to take the pins and pin both sides so that it stays in place when you're sewing. Just like this. There we go. Now that was obviously, for us, the first time, but I had already done the other side, so now it is finished and ready to sew. Okay, for this step, we're going to make 2 straight seams to pin the Velcro in place. One along the top of the Velcro and one along the bottom of the Velcro. The top seam is going to, of course, hit the bottom of this outer fabric so that there's not a weird flap underneath and it stays in place. You also want to hit the top of the Velcro so that there's not a weird flap when you're opening the bag with the other Velcro. Make sure to try and hit your seams as straight because they look more professional that way. Especially if you're using a different thread color than your fabric, such as this, because straighter obviously looks better. And yeah, so for this step, you of course need a sewing machine and whatever color thread that you want from your local fabric store. Okay, let me show you how to do this step. Try to keep the seam straight as you go across. And don't sew over the pins because you could break the needle. So that's the first one. Now for the second Velcro seam. This seam is rather simple, just straight across. And here we have our finished product. Ta-da! In preparation for the last step, you're going to fold the fabric over to line up the Velcros, as well as this top edge of the fabric, like so that the top edges are flat against each other. Also, you want the sides to line up so that all the fabric layers are close to each other. So when you sew a straight seam, you're going to include all 4 of the layers. Because you want in your finished product to have a nice looking outside seam as well as a nice looking non-frayed inside seam, you're going to have to sew the sides seams twice. To start, you're going to sew with the bag right side out, and you're just going to sew a straight seam across the edge. Make sure when you're sewing this seam that you do not go too close to the edge of the fabric, but you also don't go too far away, then your bag is going to become really small. So just sew straight down. Like so. After you've sewed this seam, you want to cut off any excess fabric on the end so that the inner seam can be smaller. Like this. You're going to get close enough to the seam that you cannot have too much excess fabric, but not too close because then the seam will obviously come out. And there you go. For this next step, you're going to pull the bag out so that it's now inside out. You want to make sure that the corners are completely pointed so that when you sew this, you're not sewing over the extra fabric on the inside. When you sew this seam, you're going to sew straight across here, like this. And you want to make sure that you don't get too close because you can feel the inner seam from the outside, and you want to make sure that you don't hit that because then there are going to be frayed edges sticking out on the outside. Now this is an example of what you want this seam to look like. You don't want the seam to be too far to the inside or your bag is going to become very small, but you also don't want it to be too close to this lump of seam because then you're going to, of course, have frayed edges. Let's try it ourselves. Alright. here we have our finished product with a nice outer seam and a nice inner seam. Ta-da! With this easy 3-step process, you can make any or as many bags as you wanted in any shape or size. Bigger bags, of course, could hold sandwiches and larger amounts of food, but the small ones are really cute and they're very easy to carry around fruit or chips or something. Thank you for watching this, and I really hope it was informative and you actually learned something.
That's cool.
These bags not only have a soft outer fabric cover, but they also have a washable inside plastic layer.
That's where it'd be, and then you have your fabric. Like do.
Are you filming this?